hello everyone. Welcome to the Future of Customer Engagement, Harnessing the Power of AI webinar, where we will be tackling the role of AI in transforming customer engagement strategies. In the era of technological advancement at unprecedented pace, AI stands at the forefront of innovation, creating waves of possibilities across every industry. Particularly for marketing, we are seeing more and more AI-driven marketing campaigns and initiatives that empower brands to stand out in their industry. And today we will be gaining valuable perspectives on leveraging AI to create personalized experiences, anticipate customer needs, and also deliver the exceptional service. We are honored to hear from 4 industry experts today. So without further ado, let's begin our journey into the world of AI, starting off with the presentation of Sarah Chan, Regional Account Executive at Braze, who will deep dive into the AI revolution in marketing and how to master the art of engaging customers with the right message at the right timing through the right channel. She has been in the tech industry for 7 years, helping her customers solve business problems. Now, a fun fact about Sarah is that she entered wake surfing competition 2 months ago and got 2nd place for the beginners women's category. Where did this happen, Sarah?
Happened in Singapore. We have no surfing, we have no waves in Singapore, so we can only surf through boats.
Nice. It's really, really exciting, and congratulations on that. But before I give you the floor, right? I have a question for you here. So how would you describe AI in 1 word and why?
I would say advisor, because AI is really there to advise you on that journey, to help you make decisions better. And it's really that trusted person or trusted being you look up to get the best advice to navigate the changes of the world, everything to help you make smarter decisions.
Nice. So AI is an advisor, right? Thanks so much for that, Sarah. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Jovan. All right. Good morning, everyone. And thanks, Jovan, for the very energetic opening. Really love it. My name is Sarah. I'm an account executive from Braze, based in Singapore. I cover both Singapore and the Philippines market. And yes, I came in 2nd in a beginner's wake surfing women's competition. Just wanted to try and express myself and really push my limits. And I wanted to just start today's keynote off with just some light-hearted laughs and sharing a comic that really resonated with me because I feel that AI has become such a buzzword. And being in the tech industry about 6-7 years, I have a lot of friends and we make jokes that the term AI is often overused by many executives. It's become such a buzzword, but what does that actually mean for marketers and for your actual job? Like, how can AI actually help you make your daily job better? So actually we use AI in our daily lives today, like Instagram, maybe TikTok feeds, Spotify, Netflix, depending on what you've watched. Netflix recommends you something similar to your interests. So today we're going to demystify the buzzword and really break it down, what AI means for you as a marketer, how you can use AI, and also the impact that it can have on your work. So just a show of hands, how many people actually use AI in your marketing strategies today? We've actually found from different industry reports from Forrester, Gartner, as well as Deloitte, that the majority of marketers believe that AI is really crucial in establishing your competitive edge against your competition, but only a third of marketers are actually deploying it today in their marketing programs. And as AI becomes slowly commoditized and becomes a must-have in the future, I don't think it's about, whether or not you use it, because eventually everyone will use it, but it's about how you use AI or what you input in AI to give you that edge. And that's really where Braze comes in and what we believe in. The end goal is really to help marketers maintain and get that competitive edge and to help you focus on that core of what's important to you, which is customer centricity. So we don't see it as just another buzzword, but it's to really help marketers create amazing experiences for your end consumers to make sure that you really have the best customer engagement strategies. So with AI, what we think AI can help marketers in is to really be more efficient, save time, be more personalized at scale. Like how can you connect with thousands or maybe millions or billions of consumers and yet have that unique and differentiated experience at every touch point. Also to really drive conversions, to keep reiterating and ensuring that you constantly get better results and drive ROI from your engagement strategies. And that's why we've rebranded our terminology. Earlier, I asked what AI means to me is an advisor, and that's why Braze launched or rebranded our AI into Sage AI. So all jokes aside, I didn't know what a sage meant. So I used ChatGPT, and ChatGPT says that, a sage has multiple meanings depending on the context, but sages are often seen as wise advisors, mentors, someone who gives you that insight, someone who's enlightened and who's able to guide you on that journey in a spiritual aspect, even in some context, in like a philosophical context. I promise I didn't ChatGPT the rest of my presentation, but the sage is really something that can allow you and really guide you on your journey. And that's what I personally believe and view AI's role as. It's not to replace your job as a marketer, but to be that trusted confidant in creating your customer journeys, empowering you to make the best decisions, and also give you great advice to achieve the best results. So fun fact here, SAGE is also our acronym for our philosophy for our customers, which is to start anywhere, go everywhere. And we've always believed that we want to allow marketers to start their engagement strategies at their own pace in order to achieve the best results. And when I say, we don't just see AI as just a buzzword, we really mean it. We've been investing in AI since 2015, and we're not just developing or investing in AI to be part of some hype. It's really to help our customers save time, get better results. And we've actually incorporated AI in our products since 2015. And back then, when the iPhone has been launched for a couple of years, there were so many different apps out there. And our main objective was to really help our customers cut through the noise and to really send messages that have a really meaningful impact and to really engage with their customers at the right time, at the right moment, and at the right point of their journey. So we helped our customers answer the question, when is the best time to engage with a customer? And how do I cut through the noise? How personalized do I need to be? Should I reach Sarah through an email or, because she doesn't check her emails, notifications? And our mission has always been to help our customers reach their own end users in a very meaningful way, in a very human way. And now that AI has matured even more, like how we have Google Home or Alexa or chatbots that can really mimic a human assistant, we're starting to think, how can AI really be that trusted advisor to you? And what is the best message to send to a user that will really resonate with them on a personal level to make them feel like, hey, this brand really knows me and they really listen to me. So with all our investment in AI, it's ultimately helping marketers save time, get more creative, achieve better results while still keeping the end customer the center and core of your marketing strategies. So how can actually AI impact your daily life as a marketer? I've actually broken it down into 3 different pillars over here. 1, save time, be more efficient. Secondly, differentiate your brand by really being personalized and doing it at scale to the masses of your consumers. And thirdly, it's to really optimize conversions and create campaigns that continuously drive better engagement results. So now let's break down these three elements and define what it really means to help marketers work smarter. So firstly, for being more efficient is to really help resource and time-strapped teams to get things done faster. And similar how ChatGPT can give you definitions on the word sage or help marketers create essays, help students create essays, marketers can actually use AI to generate images for campaigns, come up with creative copies just from their own prompts. So for example, if we go into AI image generator, you just type in, I want a photorealistic red sports car, centered drive on a mountain road. Our AI can actually generate that image, save it to your media library, and all these images are copyrighted, so you don't need to worry about copywriting issues. Once it's actually saved to your library, you can actually already use it for marketing campaigns. And if you have that idea, that great idea for a campaign, you just need to input it. I want to have a big summer special on rentals. You can choose to generate a copy depending on what output language you actually want, English, Tagalog, depending on the language preference of your audiences. And in order to really help resource and time-strapped teams get work done faster, you can actually use it for marketing campaigns straight away. And this copywriting is really based on the best ideas that our marketing customers can have to really help them spark more creativity, introduce more ideas, and drive results at a faster rate. Secondly, it's about how to be more personalized and how to really supercharge personalization as your business scales. So as your business grows, how can you still ensure that every message you send is personalized and still resonates with your end consumer? Marketers here can actually fill that gap with tools and tailor things like content, recommendations, and journeys to each user's preferences. So for example, AI can also predict behavior of your customers and highlight users who are at a risk of high churn. And it's about identifying these group of users who are at a risk of high churn, finding different segments. Are they on a high risk of churn, medium risk of churn, and low risk of churn, and helping you to send them personalized promotional messages based on the segment or demographic that they are in. So AI can also help you and give you that visibility on those high risk groups and target them before it's too late, before they really leave and churn from your brand. And this is just one example. The same can be done for audiences who have a higher predictability to make a purchase. And so, for example, marketers can give the highest promotions to the group with the lowest percentage to make a purchase. So AI can really give you that visibility and crystal ball to know your audience at scale, which also gives you the insights to set up campaigns to really target them with the right messaging, with the right strategy, to really make them feel like you understand them and you have been listening to their behavior. And thirdly, it's about constant reiteration and optimizing the conversions that you have currently in your marketing campaigns today. We understand that marketers in today's world are always expected to maximize ROI for every cent, every dollar that you spend. And sometimes it may be difficult to know if your campaigns are reaching their fullest potential. So AI statistical models can actually automatically test and optimize any aspect of your message, your campaign, or customer journey to understand which is the best performing variant, ensuring that we can maximize customer results and you take the guesswork out of iteration and optimization. We can also go a step further with AI to not just know which variant is the best performing one, but which variant is the best one that resonates on an individual level. So for example, maybe person A prefers pizzas, person B prefers burgers, and person C prefers tacos. How can you optimize and personalize all these messages and billions of messages at scale to really make sure that you're constantly personalizing all your messaging as well as improving on conversion rates for all your marketing campaigns? So now that we've kind of broken these three pillars down on how AI can actually really help you make your lives easier, and help you save time, I think it's also important to understand how it also ties back to your overall marketing strategy. The North Star and the goal is always to keep your customer in the center of your universe. And AI is just another tool in your arsenal that can help to really unify touch points along the customer life cycle, from acquisition to the first interaction, and making sure that they keep coming back to your brand and are loyal customers. Our philosophy is that AI should always be used for all channels that you engage all your customers with, to give you that insight on how you should engage your customer, when is the right time, and what is the right message that would resonate with them. And the results from your customer engagement should always be a smart feedback loop that you can inform your AI to be a smarter model and to make more relevant decisioning for your customer engagement journey. So now that I've covered, what AI means for marketers, how you can use it in your marketing strategy, the impact that you have, I'm just going to share two brief customer examples on how our customers used AI and what impact they actually got from it. So one customer is One Roof. For those who don't know, One Roof is a property destination platform where users can see sales, insights on housing trends, especially in the New Zealand market. And what One Roof wanted to do was to help users make property decisions easier, faster, helping their users find the perfect place. So they knew the timing to search for property was a very key and high value action for them. They wanted to engage their users at the right moment, understand them, and make sure that each interaction, they were actually getting more results from them, more data from the customers. So they worked with Braze to actually gather better customer data, understanding where the customers were in their property journey. Are you a first home buyer, investor, or maybe just like looking around in the property market? After building that first customer profile, they actually used Braze Intelligent Timing, our AI feature, to calculate the optimal send time of the message based on a past user's interactions and based on the customer segment that the customer was in. And they actually sent things like local insights, property news, recommended listings, all optimized at the right time and at the right point of the user's journey. As a result, they achieved a 77% conversion rate of first-time users in registered customers, and it had a 50% user growth year on year. The second customer story I just wanted to share is 8Fit. So 8Fit is a health and fitness app offering customized meal plans and workouts, and they were in a tiered subscription model. So what they wanted to do was to increase the number of paid subscribers without offering big, massive discounts to all of their users. But what they didn't know was which group do I actually target and which users would I not waste my discounts on. So using Braze AI predictive purchase, they were able to understand users who had the highest likelihood of making a purchase, and what they actually did, they were able to achieve a higher conversion rate while sending fewer messages because they already knew they wanted to focus on users who had a higher likelihood of purchase. Another thing that was very important to them was user stickiness, and some of their users subscribe on web, some subscribe on app. They just wanted to find a relevant pattern and in all their user behaviors of those who made purchases in the past to predict who and what and who will purchase in what mediums in the future. And what they got was 3x higher conversion rate, and they actually sent 100k fewer emails weekly. So now that I've also shared what AI means to your journey, how you can use AI, some of the customer stories that have benefited from AI, I just wanted to close with this comic that I found funny as well. I hope that you won't go back after this presentation and go to ChatGPT to say how will AI make an impact on your business. I hope that you got some takeaways from this presentation. And if you're still trying to understand, how will AI really make an impact on your business, feel free to connect with me. This is my QR code. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And if you also want more creative strategies on customer engagement, feel free to scan the QR code on the right-hand side. That's a whole repository of more creative ideas and more creative strategies across many different industries that you can use. And if you're interested to know more about AI, just connect with me. and we'll be in touch. Thank you so much for your time, and thanks for listening.
All right. So thank you so much, Sarah, for that insightful presentation on demystifying the AI revolution in marketing. Truly, AI helps create best experiences to deliver world-class customer engagement strategies. So definitely with your presentation, Sarah, we can surely affirm that AI is one of the advisors that marketers can consider. So just remember, Sage, start anywhere, go everywhere. Did I get it right? Right.
Yes, yes, spot on.
Now, we'd love to answer some of the questions of our audience. We have seen one of the questions here already answered by Francis. I also would like to ask this question to you, Sarah. In what ways do you think AI can assist in personalizing content and advertisements to enhance customer engagement and conversion rates?
I think it's always about first having that level of insight of understanding who your customers are, what are their interests, what are their behaviors like, and then really personalizing the content using AI to understand what is the best way and what is the best message and content that they will resonate with based on their user behavior. First of all, you need to understand how they're interacting with your brand, how they're engaging with you, and what kind of messages that would resonate best with them. And for example, if I am browsing your website, if my interests are in like sustainability, if I keep reading articles on sustainability, then you can actually send me advertisements on, like, let's say, electric vehicles. So it's really about listening to my behavior based on how I engage with your brand, and then sending relevant content or relevant advertisements that are more meaningful to what my interests are. That's one way to really engage with users.
I really like what you said there, listening to your customers and respond to them accordingly. So thank you so much, Tara, for your great presentation. And thank you for our audience for the questions. I'm sure we are all eager to learn more about AI-driven marketing strategies. I'll see you again, Sarah, in the panel discussion. Now that we've talked about AI's revolution in marketing, and Sarah has given us actionable strategies that we can apply in our marketing campaigns, in this next segment, let's delve into how brands are adopting to AI-driven marketing strategies. Before I introduce our speakers, I'm curious to hear from our audience again. All right, so let's have a quick poll. And the first question is, are you leveraging AI in your marketing strategies? Yes or no? So kindly cast your vote there. Okay, it's really interesting. Top one. Oh, wow, really? Okay, let's show the result. Okay, so you got it, right? 47% of our attendees are saying that they are currently leveraging AI, okay, in their marketing strategies, and 53% hasn't yet. I have another question, and this is for those who have answered yes. So what areas of marketing are you using AI for? So we can see some interesting answer here. All right, so majority of you have said yes, okay, you are using AI for content creation, 66% of you. And then for campaign management, it's 22%, and data collection and measurement, so that's 22%. So thank you once again, our dear audience, for participating. Later on, we can ask the thoughts of our panelists regarding the results. So now it is my pleasure to moderate today's panel discussion. We have a privilege of having an esteemed panel of experts who will share their insights and expertise on leveraging AI in your customer engagement efforts. Joining me today are Greg Anonas, International Wine and Food Marketing Director at Emperador Distillers Incorporated. He excels in executing impactful marketing campaigns and product launches for iconic brands such as Johnny Walker, Colt 45, Domex, Surf, and more. A fun fact about Greg is that he loves playing in the mud, okay? He enjoys mountain biking, hiking, and off-roading. And according to him, the muddier, the better. So, Greg, where is the muddiest place you have ever been?
The muddiest place I've ever been is probably in my garage when I get home.
Right, that's funny. Okay, now this is a question for you. How will you describe AI in one word, and why?
AI for me is an enhancer for everything. Like, it makes everything easier. Like when you need to generate communication materials, when you need to generate images for marketing programs. For me, it's a platform for innovation and a way to make everything a lot easier. Just like the way you use a calculator or Microsoft Office tools to to make your productivity better. I'm interested more in the application, the practical application of AI, more
Mhm.
than the technology or the jargon behind it. I just really advocate how it's best used, like in a practical sense.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Greg. Okay, you mentioned enhancer. AI is an enhancer. Thank you so much and welcome, Greg. Right.
Thank
Moving
you.
on,
Thank you.
let's call on Francis John Chua, Marketing Director, Head of Digital Sales Channels at Globe Telecom. Francis has over 20 years of marketing and advertising experience from various categories like telco, CPG, and media. Now, Francis is a collector of over 160 titles of graphic novels from DC, Marvel, and Image Comics. So I love to borrow them, okay? So right now, he's on the hunt, okay, for He-Man and Masters of the Universe Omnibus from DC. So, Francis, how much is the reward that you will give to the person who will direct you to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Omnibus?
The person can name his price or her price. So that's very valuable to me now.
It's really great. Can I borrow one of them?
Sure, absolutely.
Yes.
You
All
can
right.
add.
Okay. So now I have a question here. How will you describe AI in one word and why?
Productive. I'd say AI is probably productive in the sense because it is meant to, help uplift the Filipinos. As a point of view for myself and for the company I work in, Globe, we're in this business to help uplift the lives of the Filipinos and see how we can become more productive. And I guess it's a two-way road. How do we improve our customers' lives and how do we also improve our systems working? So I look at it from a productivity standpoint.
All right. Thank you so much, Francis. AI is helping us to be productive. All right. Let's call on Albert Roble Bodahim, Chief Marketing Officer of Primer Group of Companies. He is responsible for leading the various marketing and creative teams across the group, where his previous roles and expertise in marketing and e-commerce, media, and brand building come handy. So now this is the fun fact about Albert. He was raised in a family with his dad being a Muslim, so that's where he gets Budahim, and his mom being a Roman Catholic, that's where he gets Roble. Albert, truly love conquers all. What do you say?
I super agree with that, Joven. So it's very interesting to be in a family where, I see both things, respect people's beliefs truly, right, at its core. And yeah, we can have all but, different ideas, different precedents to vote. But at the end of the day, we just have to know who matters and who we love, right?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for that. Okay, I have the question here. So how will you describe AI in one word and why?
For me, it's really about enhancing and continuously improving things, right? That's what AI to me is. Yeah, so it enhances everything from we have chatbots on our Facebook, we have CRM on our .coms, we have 16 .coms. We utilize the AIs in the marketplace. In Facebook, we ask Facebook to do the A/B testing for us. We do the shopping advantage. We do the Google AI as well. Knowing that it can only get better if we utilize both the arts of the people, right? The creative aspect of human beings, and then the technological investment, to do thousands at a time, right, of a machine. So
Right. Thanks so much for that, Albert. You mentioned about being an enhancer, right, as well. And all right, so welcome, Greg, Francis, Albert, and of course, I want to call Sarah back into the screen or stage, right? Okay, so first one on our agenda is the concept of AI in marketing. Let's talk about its potential benefits for brands in enhancing customer engagement. And my question to you, in your years of experience, right, in the marketing industry, you have been familiarized with various tech tools, right? For you, what is the concept of AI in marketing and its potential benefits for brands in enhancing customer engagement?
Number one, to demystify AI is such a big word, just like any other big word. There are levels of the big word, like strategy, there are levels of strategy, as there are now levels of AI, right? So there are 7 levels of AI. We're mostly using level 4 and 5. Siri, Waze, they're around level 5, right? Siri can find you the closest dental clinic if your toothaches and all that. Waze can find you the nearest petrol station if you're running low on gas. That's level 5 out of 7, right? Because people think about AI, it's like super machine. the Terminator kind of deal. Yeah, the Skynet and all that. That's all sounds scary. So to me, where I am and where the company is actually really understanding what AI across the levels of AI, and finding ways on as what Sarah mentioned earlier, save us money, become more productive, get more results from the current resources we have, whether that's financial resource, organizational resource, or whatever resource we have, right? Yeah, so that's where we are. We're really understanding AI across the 7 levels. We understand it is not our core business, so we are not developing it, but we are definitely at a point where we have a team. So we have a digital team. The leader for that team is Maynard, and then across the organization, we're making sure that we are investing significant percentage on tech enablement, right? Because it's either we're leveraging technology to our advantage or we are allowing our competitors to disrupt us because of a technology. So, are you going to make friends with the technology or are you going to make enemy of it? Obviously, we choose the first, right? Friends
Yeah.
and allies.
Right. So good choice on that, Albert. It's really good to understand that you have really building a team that embraces technology or AI, because that's what you said, right? It's really, there are a lot of benefits that AI is giving to us, especially to marketers in terms of content creation, measurement, and also we're going to talk about personalization as well. Right. So now the next question that I have here, it goes to Greg. So would love to hear your thoughts here. So how do you leverage AI in Emperador Distillers marketing strategies?
The first thing we do with Emperador is we are an alcohol company, so we're a very experiential company. So
Mhm.
you can't purely go into just AI without removing the experiential factors when it
Yeah.
comes to tasting products and beverages because it's physical. Another thing is aside from the common tools we use like Google Ads to figure out like behaviors and segmentize the markets that actually listen to us, we actually also are able to predict human behavior by using other AI tools like that promote social listening. So
Mhm.
we can do a lot of opinion mining, and also we have a certain AI platform. I won't have to give what it is exactly out of respect for our colleagues here, but we're also able to look at what we call the dark funnel. So if you look at business to business or consumer interactions with the internet, they kind of leave small digital breadcrumbs of their actual behaviors and where they actually go to see things. They actually surf and look for search for things.
Mhm.
You see these digital footprints, and you're able to synthesize this and are able to predict where they go, what they listen to as a source of information, and through that, we're also able to create specific recommendations to lead people into our products. Aside from that, we also use a lot of generative AI for copywriting, which helps us with our business to business communications when we talk to our trade partners. We also use generative AI to come up with artwork, like, for example, promo materials and advertising. And we also use generative copywriting AI platforms so that we can come up with better captions with more creative business to consumer communication. So those are the things we use: generative AI generally, and of course social listening and social intelligence tools for us to be able to predict behaviors and influence them.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing that, Greg. It's really good that you mentioned about social listening as well, right? A lot of brands have actually been using this already, and they just have not thought yet, right, that they have been really using AI long, long before,
Yes,
right?
with Google Ads is also a form of AI, and everybody has
Absolutely.
been using it, but
Yep.
they just don't appreciate like how common it is already for us to be able to have access to these tools.
Right, absolutely. So now, Sarah, okay, Albert and Greg has shared the different ways how their marketing teams are leveraging AI. With your experience working with a lot of brands, right? Can you share your thoughts on pillars of AI and how do they contribute to enhancing marketers' efforts?
Thanks, Joven. I think it's really about helping marketers save time, like
Correct.
optimizing all the menial work so they can really focus on what matters to them. which is ultimately it's the end consumer. It's making sure you have the right strategies in place, and how can you deliver those strategies in order to maximize the best results. So I think a lot of the panelists also shared like using AI to generate creative copies that also saves time. And Braze also is able to help you generate creative copies, but it's very important to first have the right inputs and have that right idea that will resonate with your end customers. So I think that no matter how you use AI, it's really about having the end customer in mind and really being very clear on what are the kind of goals you want to achieve at the end of the day. I think that's the most important for all marketers when they use AI.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. Right. So some of you have mentioned about personalization. Now let's discuss further how AI enables brands to deliver personalized and targeted campaigns at scale. Now, I would like to ask this question to Francis. How does Globe envision utilizing AI to enhance customer engagement in terms of personalization?
Actually, Joven, one of the questions also I saw here from the QAA had a similar question. And so maybe I'm just going to answer it this way. So there are two parts of the business. One is really dealing with our B2B, and one we have also the B2C side. I guess from a B2B standpoint, it's more business, and it's probably a little more on the basis of what needs do our customers have and what things do they want to automate. And Globe as a, premier provider of data plus all of, marketing solutions and AI solutions, I guess we'll be able to come up like with tailor fit solutions just for the customers. But I guess more importantly, to the customers, the Filipinos, I guess where we want to make a difference is how do we kind of do omni-care marketing. At the end of the day, we don't build necessarily just transactions. We want to be able to build relationships with the customer. And the relationship is actually, if you think about it, like the summation of the years of experience, the day-to-day, all the complaints, all the raves, all the customer inquiries and applications that one make with Globe. And so if we put it all together, that makes for the relationship, right? And AI comes in to be able to provide care wherever they are. Traditionally, where they would be is, they would be reaching out to us via our stores or our field sales or our telesales or messenger or via their mobile phones. And because these are run by different people, the answers would have been very, very different. Some of them would probably point them here, the others there. Some may be able to resolve them, some may be not be able to resolve them. It keeps no record of who you are and what transactions you have done with us. I think one of the things that AI can really help us with is how do we do omnicare, which is really how do we now are able to kind of like put together all the things that you are, even the voice, even your facial even facial recognition, where you are, and how you're using and what time you're using this particular care. Now we'll be able to say, what kind of solutions, what kind of self-service can we provide you in the most seamless manner. And I think that alone makes up a good part of the relationship building, that we're not here just to, charge customers, but here to really kind of like improve and uplift the lives of the Filipinos. And so I think omnicare is just one way. There's still also many ways, like for example, optimizing sales strategy, reducing time and costs when it comes to on our operational side, increasing accuracy in terms of prediction, customer behavior, data management, all of these things. But these are all, kind of like big words. I think bottom line, when we talk about customer engagement and talk about, AI, you just want to be able to help make the Filipinos more productive. And so they don't need to, this is probably one less thing they need to think about from their many concerns already.
Right. So you mentioned about a very interesting word there, omnicare, right? You're able to reach out and be able to respond in any channels, whether it's physical or online, right? So it's really good that how accessible the customer care Globe is. Definitely. All right. So now, Albert, this is going to be very interesting, right? So Primary Group has a lot of brands, right? Mostly retail brands. In what ways does AI enhance Primary Group's targeted campaign promotions, considering you have many brands under your care?
Yeah, so Primary Group, we're the Birkenstock, we're the Hydro Flask, we're Delsey, we're Herschel, Jansport, many brands that actually are premium in the country. We have more than 400 stores in the Philippines. And so let me just address that rather than by brand, by capability. So number one is on customer service. So we do activate a lot of AI, just by as simple as level two, which is like categorization, right? Let the machine do the categorization of the issues and do, chatbots, which is like, if the question is this, like, where's my order? Where's my product? It triggers an action, right? So we have that customer service wise. Secondly, on CRM, so journey-based targeting. So for example, if you have purchased already X amount, it will trigger you to the next level and remind you like, hey, you're now on this level, right? Or would you now you can get this much discount, from this store, right? So journey-based targeting, and then emails as well, birthdays and all that. In the stores, we also have, of course, activated the system wherein there is the whole, because managing multiple stores, we're now starting to move in the primary group wherein your points accumulation from one store can also be used to the next store, right? So having that kind of advantage. And of course, the ads, the advertising, as what, Greg and Francis has mentioned, Google, the Facebooks, we have also all of that. Yeah, so across all the journey of the customer, from acquisition to the traffic, to conversion, to driving repeat purchase, we have activated technology and tools. To us, it's all about tools, right? People, process, and tools. How are you going to grow a business is, at the end of the day, three core things to look into. How's our organization, people? How are we doing things, right? Process. And what are the tools to make sure that we will yield an excellent job, from one organization to the next, from one person to the next, right? And that's what tools are for us. That's how we use it.
Joven, if I can add like something more specific with the use of AI, let me make a bold prediction. So the Philippines is actually underdeveloped in terms of wine. So from at this point, all we know is really like red or white wine. But if we did our social listening, and what we found out was something very interesting. We looked at digital breadcrumbs, we looked at consumer behavior, and one of the interesting things I'll tell you is Filipinos like their spaghetti sweet.
True.
So also, if you look at all the other fast-moving consumer related products that move fast, the pink variant is the fastest selling variant. Our fearless prediction for wine is that the future of wine is going to be number one, sweet, and number two, pink. So the future of wine in the Philippines is not going to be red and white. It's going to be sweet and pink. And it shows that we're able to predict already human behavior. And we see that there's already a rising trend for people to like sweet wine, meaning your Barefoot or your Carlo Rossi Moscatos. But also, more importantly, the trend is more moving towards like your pink Moscato or your Rosés. So that's something that I can give concrete examples of, like for us to be able to like do correct social listening and also be able to predict and influence human behavior. And this way, we were able to reflect it through wine.
Wow, it's really interesting that you have shared that, Greg. Because of your efforts into really listening to what your customers are actually saying, you're able to come up with a prediction.
And detect patterns in human behavior so that you can connect it to your own category. I think this is what marketers would like to hear as well, because what you want to do is you want to see human patterns in behavior and think that, as humans, we're not really that unique. We are actually predictable, and we always fall into a certain bucket of behaviors where there are like-minded people there. And it's good also that we have companies like Braze that can help also navigate our journey into AI, because there's so much free AI out there. There's so many platforms, and there's so many new applications that are launched almost every day because the race is there. You really need the help of sometimes professionals to help you navigate through that.
Right. Thank you so much for that. It's really amazing how our brand leaders, marketing leaders from Globe, right, Primer Group, and also Emperador has been embracing the value of AI, not just now, right? It's been a long time ago that you have seen the value of it. But of course, the starting point is never going to be easy. Right. Before we go to the questions of our audience, I want to know your expert's opinion about the challenges, okay, of brands when adapting AI in marketing. So I would like to ask first, Sarah, based on your observations, what do you think brands' challenges when adapting AI in marketing?
I think, first of all, It's about the fear of the unknown, the fear of not understanding what AI all means. Everyone sees it as a buzzword. I think it's first about breaking it down to really understanding what it means and what it means for your role, more specifically, and also how it can help you make your lives easier. So it's also a little bit about change management and understanding how we can use this, not being like fearful of it or fearful of the unknown, but understanding how it can help you perform your job better. So I think it's also being more open to new technologies as well. The world is constantly changing. You know, there are new things happening in the world out there every day, but it's about being open and being receptive to new ideas and new tools in the market.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Sarah. It's truly right. It's the fear of the unknown is something that's stopping us, right? Because we don't know what is really going on, and we need to wait and wait and wait until you see some good results from other brands, right? So I also would like to touch on some of the concerns, right, about privacy and intellectual property relating to the use of AI. So I'd like to ask this question to Francis. So how does Globe navigate the challenges surrounding privacy and intellectual property when incorporating AI into your operations?
So I think one of the biggest challenges would be how much information are customers willing to share, and are we allowed to kind of actually use them, and what do we actually also surface? And I think one of the key challenge here is that how much is enough in terms of privacy and personalization. So one of the things we're doing from the Globe One app standpoint is being able to come up with recommendations based on your usage. So we never reveal to anyone like what have you been doing with us, but rather talk about what kind of things you'd probably like on the basis of what you have done in the past. So this is also pretty much like how algorithm works, right? So it's a lot of the recommendation engine, but also as we foray into the creative part, because I think from my standpoint, we've all been doing around digital solutions and digital marketing. But then if we start also going to a creative standpoint and then understanding also like what entails an IP infringement. And I guess that's where we have to be really careful, because right now the IP laws in the country are quite loose. And in different countries also, there are different interpretations of the IP law. So I guess this is the reason why I'm also answering certain Q&A questions, to be very precise in the prompts you use, because we probably cannot go wrong if you use the prompts that are very close to your brand DNA. But then if we tend to go very generic, so that I think that becomes an issue, because that becomes now very generic and then therefore easily ownable by everyone.
All right. Thank you so much for that, Francis. Now, I'd like to move on to Albert. Okay, this is going to be your experience, right? What are the factors have you considered when tailoring AI solutions to align with Primary Group's retail business?
For me, it's not about tailoring, it's about optimizing, right? So you have a certain goals, there's a certain desired results, right? So you want to have more results with the same finite resources that you have in the company. Yeah, so it's about optimization for us. So it's about getting better rather than perfecting. It will never be perfect. And what I care about is how is it better than before, better than expected, and better than the competition, right? So perfection is never going to be the goal for us. Now, I also want to share my perspective on why does other companies don't really adopt technology or AI in this example as a form of technology. It's because they don't have the process. They don't have the process wherein they would allocate certain amount of money from their marketing or business budget, operating budget, to test and learn something new, right? And they went all for efficiency. And there's nothing bad with that. I think 70% can be allocated to becoming more efficient. But there should be a certain budget, 5 to 10%, to try out new things, because the market has changed. And for marketers, if the market change and you remain fixed and stagnant and the same, imagine a company that remains the same for the last 20 years. My God, diba? That will be a very tragic story, right? But one thing to look forward to more than the tools is look into the processes in the company. What are the disciplines in the company? Does the marketing team has liberty to, and is the marketing team challenged to come up with new ways of going to the market, right? Of improving? Is the company also looking left and right and forward and back and say who's behind who's now leading, who's with us, right? And where is this heading? Those things are process that we somehow take for granted, for certain companies. And I always simplify. Every day I go to office, three things I look at: how's the people, how's our processes, and what are the tools do we have, right? And to me, that's the role of the leader, right, of the organization. Look after the people, check our processes. Are they still relevant or can they get better? And then the tools, right? Have I provided the organization the right tools, the best tools, so they can become the best and have the best ROI on our marketing budget?
Yeah, so you mentioned a very interesting point there. Is it part of the process of your marketing process to be able to be open, right? Whenever there is a new technology or a new trend, how are you going to respond to it, right? So I think it also goes to your marketing team culture. Thank you so much for that, Albert. So what a great insights, right, from our speakers. But we're not done yet, right? As we are now opening our Q&A. So we have gathered some questions here. The first question that we have here is from Ben Whiteman from Telecom. Sarah already answered this, so our audience can see her answer as well, but I'd like to ask Francis. So what do you see as the value of real-time data activation and personalization?
So I guess one of the input here is how people react to certain things. Like, for example, if we launch certain campaigns, particularly around product-focused campaigns, we're now able to understand like what SKUs in particular work in what kind of creative format, in what media platform. And as we understand that, we are also able to optimize and therefore be able to kind of like optimize also the way we spend and track our performance marketing part. And so that's one way. Also, I feel like from a search standpoint, if we're also able to kind of like measure the share of mind, so as how do people search? This is probably like the biggest input from our end when we see a surge on Twitter conversation saying that there's downtime in this area, our network is troublesome in certain areas, or how people are using certain promos in certain areas, or if we have a giveaway or a raffle or a promotion in certain areas, people automatically react. People post, people talk about it, and or people hate us for it. And so that's how we use kind of like data. We're able to kind of to monitor what is the share of mind per area, and therefore be able to understand how do we do very surgical approach to correcting certain input, certain kind of wrong perception, or even address certain issues, or even say great job to the people working on the local market. So I guess that's also one way to use real-time data, but it's also devotion to be able to do that. We probably can't rely so much on AI to be thinking for us, but rather we need to be harnessing AI to be helping us drive that and collate that information and react to it quickly.
Well, thank you so much for that. It's really interesting. And thank you, Ben, for that wonderful question. I have another question here. What is the error rate of AI when we use it in marketing strategy, most especially for customer engagement or customer service? We would like to explore AI for customer support and retention. That's from Sheng McCallus from Miami. Anyone could answer it.
I think I answered Sheng, but let me, if you don't mind, I can also answer it. I think it's also a way to reframe the question, and from error standpoint, I think we can look at it from what's the appetite also to learn, because I think there's really no clear guidance at the moment in terms of what AI can deliver and what pitfalls do we actually have. We hear stuff about AI lying, AI creating all of these misinformation and all of that. AI is just a machine, but someone will have to operate it. Someone will have to use it to be able to come up with something, right? So I guess to rely solely on AI to be doing the job, I think it disservice to the platform. However, if we're able to really understand our appetite, being able to reframe the question, how do we learn now, iterate, apply, and keep learning, iterating, and applying? I think that's the best way to go, because we will probably never be 100% error-free in any marketing campaign. The good thing is we can keep iterating based on what the previous learnings.
May I add to that? When you look at the error rate for AI, I mean, it's really dependent on the input that was put into an AI. So a lot of the things that go into AI have their own biases already. This is where I think the strategy is really requires abstract thinking. This is where the marketer comes into play. The execution can be done flawlessly by an AI, but the development of the strategy and the thinking behind it still has to be human driven. And also, when it comes to customer retention and the right things to say to consumers, or the language a brand has to use, that still has to be driven by humans until you effectively teach an AI to actually respond in the tone and manner that is consistent with your brand.
Right.
And following what Greg and Francis said, it's not about error rate, but the question is it on equity, right? The AI will not make mistakes on the grammar, but what it is missing is the context, the local context,
Correct.
the context of the brand to make it on equity, the context also of the local culture, and all the little nuances of what is taboo and not taboo. Because AI is actually a global tool, and it's an amazing because you have access to global knowledge. But the downside is it does not have the local context. It does not know where your brand is coming from, or what is the boundaries that your brand has established. So on AI, it's not actually an error that you have to watch out. It's actually putting the guards in place. What is in scope and what is out of scope? What is on content? What is on equity, and what will be off equity? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for those insights, Francis, Albert, and also Greg, right? So I actually saw it here, right? The question is about the error rate. I can actually feel the fear of the unknown here, right? So what has Albert mentioned, for all the marketers that really looking into adopting AI, you need to put that in the process of your team. You need to put that in your culture as well, right? And just embrace it, because it's going to be a trial and error until you find the right one, right? So Albert, I have another question here for you. As one of the biggest retail companies in the Philippines, what role does AI play in optimizing pricing strategies for brands, especially in dynamic pricing scenarios?
Yeah, so I have to admit, for pricing, we haven't found an AI to help us with it. It's also very complex, by the way. Price elasticity for a retailer, especially for us who imports. So forex matters to us. The rates also varies every day because a lot of it is in US dollars, and we sell it in Philippine peso, number one. Right. Number two is even the production source also, there's a lot of fluctuation. So it's not some, because AI, you can say do multiple regression. It kind of goes like one way. You can also ask it to explore multiple ways, but then the rules actually changes every time. There's not like a single product that was priced repeatedly priced, because everything just changes every day. That is even before the promotions are factored in. So yeah, right now we are not yet using AI, and let me repeat that, because the source of truth is kind of complex. Our finance has the forex, our merchandising has the cost of goods, our marketing has another information, our retail rental, right, the store rentals for distribution also varies per location, and there's no guarantee that this product would only go to NCR. What if it goes to Mindanao? It really has to be done manually, just because of the handover from the warehouse to the store, which is a different team, by the way. The retail operations team is a different, and then you look into the retail distribution, it varies, right? Even online, the platform fee, transaction fee on Lazada is different from Shopee. So it's just too complex to put into AI. So I guess there are still limitations for now, right? For now. So again, the question is, strategy standpoint, where do you play? Where to play, how to win, right? In strategy is always two-pronged. Where do you play and how do you win? So on where to play, it's not yet on pricing. I would be keen to, if Greg is already using it for pricing, but for us, not yet on pricing. Greg, are you using it for pricing, or Francis?
I think pricing is really sensitive. So you can use the AI tools to help you see what the threshold is for consumers when they are purchasing your products. You can see what the other competitors are doing. But at the end of the day, the strategy for pricing based on where you want to position your brand should always have a human element in it. So for us, I would say um, we are cybernetic beings now. So we always use a mix of like what is AI, what AI or what technology can provide, and also the human element. So that's our answer. We use both.
But not maybe for us, but not specifically to our industries. But I think there are those who would probably be using AI for dynamic pricing, and growth marketing on their end. So I think examples would be airline and all of your transport industries, where it algorithm plays a huge factor in determining their price.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for those insights. What Albert mentioned earlier, I think definitely you need to have a human aspect in terms of utilizing AI, because one, they don't know the context of your brand, and they don't know yet, like the local context as well. So this question actually has answered by Francis earlier in a Q&A box. So the audience, you can find the answers there as well. But we want to hear from Sarah. For this question, how do you think brands should leverage AI to monitor social media conversations and engage with customers in real time?
Right. Thanks, Joven. I think it's about having that 360 view of your customer and having that overall sentiment analysis. So it's like it's not just about interactions with your brand, but what Greg also mentioned before, it's about like that breadcrumbs of like really understanding their intent, their behavior, having that really full picture of that 360 customer profile. So I think it's also about understanding how the customer interacts with your brand, as well as getting the insight on what this really means. Because we also speak a lot about data and collecting a lot of data, but most of the time it's not really actionable. So being very intentional about what kind of data you're collecting, how you actually listen to your customers, and what you actually use of it in your marketing campaign. I think having that right strategy really sets the foundation of how you want to use AI. It's not about like this magic tool, that magic wand that you can use, say, okay, AI, everything is fixed. But it's about how you use it and what you put into it. And like I love the previous question on like the error rates, because it's how you train it and how you continuously reiterate from it. It's a long continuous journey. I think majority of us are still pretty new to using AI. It may seem a little bit scary at first, but I think it's about having that first step of being very, very intentional of how it fits into your overall marketing strategy.
Right. I really like what you said there, Sarah. You need to be intentional, right? Don't use AI just for the sake of using it, right? So use AI if you have a problem to solve, right? So thank you so much for all of your questions, audience, and thank you for answering them, our dear panelists. So this is the first time I think that we were able to answer all of the questions in the Q&A box. Well, thank you so much for our panelists, because they have extended their time as well, but we're not done yet, right? We had a question here from Selena Tan of the Coca-Cola Company. What are the key watch outs or advice for first timers and tapping into AI tool for content creation? So this is more for visual. Probably we could start with Greg.
So I think it's always helpful for you to arm yourself with enough information, so you don't just dive into AI. So I would recommend, as a person entering or a company entering AI, for the people to read up on it first. To number one, identify what is the actual need, so that you can find the actual AI platform that will help solve your problem. Number two, don't be scared to ask professionals, because it's really hard to navigate the world of AI on your own. So if you really have absolutely no clue, do not hesitate to talk to professionals about it. So like, for example, we have met Sarah Chan from Braze. So if you are looking for a way to help navigate something that is really scary, then don't hesitate to call experts. Read up on it, read as much as you can, learn as much as you can, and don't be afraid to ask the experts. And then number three is, of course, realize what exactly do you need from AI? Because if you are just searching for AI for the sake of searching for AI, you're gonna just wander aimlessly and you're gonna have a hard time.
Right. Thank you so much for that, Greg. So you mentioned that don't be scared to ask professionals, right? So there you go. Braze is here, right? Sarah Chad is here. Okay, so probably I would also like to ask this question to Francis.
I guess my only answer would be just embrace it.
Right.
There's no hard and fast rules about AI. It's
Right.
really it's really being able to learn now and iterate. Because if you don't do that, there's just no learning, and
Right.
just for everyone to kind of like give
Right.
you.
Right. Right.
Yeah, the best way to do it is for you to
Right.
really understand why you're in there in the first place.
Right. So embrace it. Now, Sarah, your top advice.
Okay, my answer is slightly different. I mean, it's not that we don't embrace AI, but Selena, I'm seeing a question. It's more about tapping into specifically AI for content creation and visuals. So I'm just reflecting back on, what it means for brand visuals and for content creation.
Right.
I think everything, when I think of a brand is more than just a brand, but it's an actual human being. And when I think of Coca-Cola, I think of happiness and
Yeah.
I think of the experience.
Right.
So I feel that when you need to have, as long as you have that North Star of your ideas, which are happy experiences, and I think there was this campaign about sharing is caring, share a Coke,
Right. Right.
share that happiness with everyone. As long as you have that idea and you have it consistent with all your different brand messages, I think that's the right starting point and the
Right.
right way
Right.
to
Right.
go.
Right.
Yeah.
If I can add, like, there are platforms that can help you for free, like Jasper or Chat GPT for your copywriting, and maybe you can go to Wall-E or Journey for your visual, for your text to visual. So as even as easy as Canva has its own AI already, if that's what you need to tap into. So also, if you're concerned about the uniqueness of your proposition or your communication strategy, it will also have to come from the quality of the prompt that you are writing. So I think that's where the abstract thinking as a marketer has to come in. You have to be able to develop the right tone and the right keywords in your prompt to be able to come up with something very unique and something that is in line with your your brand communication.
All right. Thank you so much for that. And of course, Albert, what is your top advice for brands?
Well, my top advice for the brands is number one, be in touch. It's very dangerous for you to be myopic and be inward looking. So be in
Right.
touch, right? Marketing is about understanding the market, not just your company, right? So be in touch. Secondly, is embrace change, right? Change shouldn't be painful, right? It should be because the market evolves. Just like us, remember, market is composed of people. Companies are run by people, and we people changes over time. We change our phones, right? So embrace change. Again, process-wise, embrace change. And the third one is search and reapply best practices, which is also connected to the in touch, right? So I look forward to following Greg. Seems to be doing a lot of AI, and also Francis and also Sarah. So search and reapply best practices, no? And that's something that we are doing, really well right now. Over the last couple of years, we have been always making sure at Primer we look at the global's best, we look at the region's best. We are understand where the competitors are, and we need to do a better job so that we can, win the preference and gain, right, the purchase of our customers. So again, my three advices. Number one, be in touch to the market, right? Immerse yourself. Secondly is embrace change. Every day, if yesterday was a bad day, then today make it a better day, and tomorrow another better day. Right? There will never be the best day, but only a better day. And third is search and reapply best practices. Someone is doing a good job out there. Make that your base, right? So then you can only get better because you made the best base.
Right.
So that's my top three tips for
Right.
you, for the audience.
Joanne, may
Well,
I just share my screen for a while? I just wanted to share something with everyone.
absolutely, absolutely.
I just wanted to share this with everybody because there's a lot of tools out there already, and
Mm,
people might want to have an idea of the things that they want to see for free. Of
yeah.
course, Braze is there, and they can always go. People can consult them for the experts, but this is what's out there already. If you need video, audio, coding, productivity, images, these are all new AI tools that are out there that I just wanted to share with everybody. And then they can contact me through LinkedIn if they want to. If they want me to email this list to them.
Nice. Wow, that's very generous, Greg, right? Feel free to
Thank you,
screen.
Greg. I will message you.
Sorry.
Messaging you now.
We're gonna surely get that copy, Greg. Thank you so much. So again, thank you so much, Sarah, Greg, Francis, and Albert. Remember, when you are embracing AI, remember SAGE, right, Sarah? So start anywhere, go everywhere. So we have reached the end of our webinar, and we have confirmed that AI is no longer just a futuristic concept. So it's a practical and invaluable asset that can transform the way brands engage with audiences, optimize campaigns, and drive meaningful results. By harnessing the power of AI in your marketing strategies, marketers can unlock a multitude of opportunities and gain competitive edge in the digital world and in the industry. So as we conclude this webinar, we would like to thank Braze, our partner for this event. Thank you so much to everyone. Once again, my name is Joven. Keep evolving. Bye, guys.